No, so it's it's mixed in real life and fake life, man. If you got the balls to go do something like that, people are gonna think you're crazy. Do you want to fuck with crazy or not? I don't know. It's pro wrestling, man. It's pro wrestling is what it is. Like I said to people when I showed up that day, they're like, "You're going into business for yourself" is a big thing that the WWE will say to talent. Say, don't go into business for yourself. You want to go into business for yourself. You're not a team player. Well, you know what? Wrestling's an individual fucking sport, boy. And there's multiple places to go do it. And if you don't want to go into business for yourself and you want to suck the corporate teat and ride that fucking wave and hope that you climb that ladder and slip a few rungs and they get greasy and you fall back down to the bottom and they don't give a shit about you, have fun. That's never been my MO. I've always loved myself. My best friends, that I lived with, during my run in the WWE from high school. Yeah, I have roommates from high school that I still live with now. I have a mom and a dad and a goddaughter that meant more to me in the world to get home and spend time with her. So, my priorities were different. I'm not going to go in there and, worry about the storyline for the next 6 months. I'm going to show up. You're going to hand me that script. I'm going to rewrite that script, hit it with a remix, as I would call it, like, only I could. I don't think they let anybody else do that. But yeah, you gotta realize that a lot of people love the business more than they love themselves, and a lot of people love the business more than they love anything. So, I just was at a point in my life where I went through that phase where I was so passionate about trying to make it in pro wrestling and having that WrestleMania match, winning titles, that, when I look at it in retrospect, like my priorities are just different now than they were then.
And you were actually able to change the script? I mean, they didn't make you, do it word for word. Obviously, you are unique and you have your own style. And
well, I was blessed because I had NXT worked with Dusty Rhodes and Triple H, and they allowed me to say whatever I want. And when I got brought up to the main roster, I went off my script the very first night on Raw. But the writers that I was working with, Nikki, they were so good to me that a lot of writers in the WWE would text me going into TV and send me the promo they were going to send, and I would just rewrite it and then send it back to them, and then I'd get handed that script on Monday, and maybe it'd be a little different, or maybe I'd have to say things that I didn't want to say, but you had to pick which hills you wanted to die on. Some nights I would go out there and say the script that they handed me word for word. That was an extremely rare occasion. I could probably count on as many times on one hand. 9 times out of 10, if I didn't like what they had written for me, I would fight tooth and nail to go change it. They would usually 9 times out of 10, I would say 8 times out of 10, they'd let me. And other times I would be pretty notorious for going off script.
I love it. Do you ever get in trouble for it?
No, I got over for it. I got over in the backstage. I got over with everyone but the writers, and there was only a few writers. There was a few writers in the WWE that when they saw that they had to write for me or whatever, their dick got hard because they knew that they were about to get a storyline or have some fun or put me in a hotel room with Lana and Rusev or something. It was they had fun with my character. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Other writers would get handed a script and say, oh, well, Enzo's going to change every word that I wrote on this script, and I already worked hard on it, and now I'm mad at Enzo. So those writers can go fuck themselves because those writers have never taken a bump in their fucking life,
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't going to go out there and hold that microphone and say the shit yourself, okay, don't tell me to say it. Or don't tell me how to say it. And, but then again, there's, that's some writers, man. Only some writers are like that. And there's other writers that will hand Enzo a script and be like, Enzo, you got to say this shit, bro. You got to. Please, dude. Don't make me fight with you. And I'll be like, all right, bro, I respect you, bro. You're my dog. I'll go say this. And they didn't have to fight with me about it. But there was times where I'm telling you, I fought tooth and nail to not say shit. I was like, fuck this, I'm not saying it. And I got a lot of heat for it, man, but at the same time, you know, at this point, or somebody telling me I was wrong, I don't know.
Is any time in this, does Vince ever say anything to you? Like, oh, I don't want you saying this, I don't want you saying that, or is he loving it?
God.
Like, he likes it?
Countless times I would knock on Vince's door and tell him I didn't like the promo or I didn't want to say this, and he would either sit there and explain to me why I was saying it, why it needed to be said. Like, for instance, Vince wanted me to say some real pussy ass shit in in my mind when I was coming into my first singles run. Me and Big Cass were breaking up, and Vince wanted me to go out there and apologize and cry. And I just said, in my mind, I was like, I'm not crying. And he said, your girlfriend just broke up with you, and you are doing everything you could possibly do and say to get your girlfriend back. And it's kind of the way he broke it down, and he laid out the storyline for me for the next few months, which made me feel a lot better. So in that moment, I can understand why I'm going to go out there and either say something or do something. But if you're handing me a script blind, telling me to act like this and perform this, and not telling me what I'm doing next week, then it's a very difficult place to be in many times.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And I kind of like that.
And I'm telling you, man, none of these guys that you're watching on TV know what they're doing until they get to Monday Night Raw.
Wow. That's not good. No preparation.
No preparation. If you have a storyline, you'll have an idea. Writers will and might smarten you up, but some of them will get heat for it, and other times writers are told to smarten you up. So, and sometimes you don't even know the difference.